right. Thank you everyone for joining. And today is another day for discussing these sections. I would like to thank everyone for coming up to join this section. And also I'd like to thank our speakers, our experts for joining this call as well. And today we'll be discussing around the what's new and then in the Microsoft Ignite that happens a month back around November and this year. So today is all about. I'm so excited to talk about this topic and which is the AI opportunities, right? So what are the? As we all know that it's been something that has been going on for a while, and what are the advancements? What are the announcements that has Microsoft brought in this Microsoft Ignite for this year, and it's a massive, very, very massive, and a lot of features were announced, and so many, and you know, opportunities are available for us as a developer, as a business owner, as a user, or as a citizen developer as well. So how can we leverage on this, and how can we also seek the opportunities at this in this era of AI, right? So, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And here I have with me expert in the field. First, my name is Hamid Abdulaziz, and I'm Microsoft MVP Business Applications, and I'm currently working as a senior developer and entrepreneur here in Ireland. And also, I have been working with the Dynamics and also Power Platform solutions for a long period of time with over 13 years of experiences as well. And I think that's enough. So I'd like to hear our speaker, Adewale, to introduce yourself.
Okay, thank you, everyone. My name is Adewale Yusuf. I'm a Microsoft Most Valued Professional in data platform, just like the other MVP on the call. I do basically data-related stuff. I work with Avanade, same as Ahmed as well. I'm a senior analytic consultant at Avanade, and I'm glad to be here. Thanks you, everyone, for joining.
Yeah, thank you, Adewale, for joining as well. So, and I would like to go to Foyi.
Yeah, hi everyone. Thank you for
Uh,
joining us today. My name is Foy, and I am a Microsoft MVP and also a Microsoft RD. Happy to be here with everyone on the call, and Ahmed and Adiwali as well. I'm a solutions architect at Avanade, um, in a transitioning phase at the moment, and yeah, we look forward to the exciting things that we're going to talk about today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, thank for you for that one time introduction, and it's good to have you here as well. So one of our speakers is still on the way, and I think there's a traffic on the plane as well, so he's going to join us very soon. So all right, so now we today we're looking at like I explained, I mentioned earlier, look at the snippet, like the what's actually the announcement, the features of we are just picking one of the key features, right, in terms of AI opportunities today. So, and I want to ask you, probably I'm going to start with for you. So, what actually excites you the most in this Microsoft Ignite this year?
Thank you, Ahmed. So the Ignite announcements were all mind blowing. I'm sure any of you who have spent time looking at the Ignite book of news can agree with me. Every single thing we're like, wow, wow, this is incredible. But I think my favorite so far is the intelligent apps that Microsoft is introducing. And what that is all about is the way Copilot helps us as makers right from the inception of the creation of our application, even to the point where we can add agents into it. So an example is you have a business problem. So with this, in this world of intelligent applications, at the moment, what we've done with Copilot Studio is we kind of go there and describe the application. So We kind of go there and describe the application that we want to work on, and then your app gets created. But in this intelligence world of applications, what you do is you go there and you describe the business problem that you're trying to solve, and based on the business problem that you describe, what Copilot does is it automatically generates roles and responsibilities. So it says based on what you've described, these are different roles that you need to have, and these are different things that these people need to do. And once that is done, you can also upload your entity relationship diagram along with the um, business problem. And then the co-pilot is able to then create your modeling for you, all of your tables and how it relates to each other, and then create the application. Gives you the option of, oh, you can use a Canvas app for this, use a model-driven app for that, and then takes you another step to say that you can add agents to your app. So you just click a button and it creates an agent for you to say, okay, based on everything you're supposed to do, you need to create this agent, and this agent will automatically review the application submission, will automatically send notifications when the status change, when this particular status on this column changes. So we can see that Microsoft is taking application creation to the next level. So it's not just about, oh, I need to create an app, what should I do? You're there putting in just your business problem as a business user. You know nothing about application creation. And with that business problem, it's able to help you create the application right to the point where you can even create agents to automatically do certain things based on certain conditions in your application. So that level of intelligence is just mind blowing. So for me, it's hard to choose, but that one so far has really, really, really blown my mind. Thank you, Ahmed. Back to you.
Yeah, thanks so much. That that's wonderful. Just so we all know that you know there are several groundbreaking AI advancements and which we're unveiling, and just like Foyin has, I've mentioned how the AI is transforming, the way we work and across various sectors. And then, when we talk about the co-pilots in Excel, co-pilots in our daily activities, in the business processes, talk about the Copilot also in the SharePoint, Dataverse, and also in different across sectors, across applications that have been announced there as well. So I would like to go to Adewale. So tell me, um, what actually excited as well in this Microsoft Ignite 2024.
Yeah, thank you for that. I think almost everything excites me because it's actually amazing to see how Microsoft focused on AI and artificial intelligence on this particular Ignite session this year. Most of all the sessions that I've watched, I'm still reading more on most of those sessions. Everything has actually been about AI, 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 which basically means that the world is changing and we need to change with the world. We need to start learning these things. AI is not going to take over our job. People that know how to use AI, we take over our job. In fact, let me cite an example. One of the updates that really wowed me is the Azure AI agent services. When I saw the Azure AI agent services, I was wowed because you can practically create any AI yourself. You yourself. You don't need anybody to build a complex, robust model of AI for you. Azure AI agent services in Azure AI Foundry can help you do that. We can pick from Azure Logic apps, like different apps like Outlook, do some automations and actions and trigger from maybe your email, your Teams, your SharePoint, anywhere. And if you don't want to pick from some of these options, they also give an options for open API, which means you don't need to be a pro developer before you can actually write an API or get an API code. So this agents AI services will create an API for you. You just need to supply where this API is coming from, and you can also link it with your data as well. Now, one beautiful thing that they now had that also made it make sense for me is that they give you the ability to choose your own model, right? Which means which AI intelligence do you want to power your agents? You can actually choose between, let's say, ChatGPT 4, or you want to choose the open source Llama like from Melta. So these AI intelligence are just wild for me, basically. I think I love it. Yeah, that's it for me.
Yeah, thanks so much, Adewale, for that. And of course, what we talk about AI, so we can just, you know, talk about it in a very narrow way. It's a very complex way because it cuts across all the applications in different sectors as well. Adwale has just mentioned in one part of which is the Azure AI agent as well. What about some other application as well? We talk about the Copilot agent, Copilot Studio, and performing different tasks in 365, 365 SharePoint, I know, and so on and so forth. Thanks for that. I'd like to move to my next question, right? So, just let you know if you have any question, feel free to drop it on the chat there. We can take a look as well. So now we have seen the announcement. We've seen what actually is in for us, and also we've seen how the businesses are adopting this, the AI opportunity as well. So, how is Microsoft? The question is probably this is good to phone in, and how is Microsoft Copilot, revolutionizing this productivity and collaborating across the industries?
So we can see different areas of how Microsoft um, is assisting different industries, right? So I'll give an example of the our Dynamics copilots that we have in Dynamics. So we can see the intelligence that it brings to play, where as a service rep, I'm seeing a ticket and I'm wondering, okay, how do I help this customer resolve this as soon as possible? But with the new intelligence coming in with copilots, there is immediate predictions. So you can already see, oh, these are all the different tickets that are similar to this, and this is how it has been resolved. So you can see that immediate predictions around how you should respond, what you should say, the knowledge base of that. So that's like a real example of how Microsoft is helping using the Copilot for service. And the Copilot for sales then helps you as a sales rep to see how you can predict based on the trend of your clients, what this client has done before. You're able to predict what will happen in the future. So there's a lot of intelligence that's coming in and is being wrapped around our day-to-day lives within the common tools that we use, which eventually would start to revolutionize the industries. And we all know education, healthcare, finance will all be very big areas that will continue to see the impact of AI positively for us.
Thank you for that. So without wasting much time, probably I'll go to Adewale.
Thank you, Ahmed. So if I'm going to add to that, I think for me, I'm going to talk in line of data, right? Because that's what I
Yeah.
do every day. I remember when we just getting started to get into data, it was really, really tough for us. As in, people don't really want to learn this because you need to learn a lot of things. You need to first of all go and learn Python. You need to go and learn SQL code separately. You need to learn how to use Excel functions. You need to learn how to write DAX, which is troublesome for a lot of people, right? But now with Copilot, I can actually convert one code to one code. Let's say, for example, I know how to write an Excel function that can calculate summation based on some condition, but I don't know how to write this same function in DAX or how to write this same function in SQL. I don't need to learn all the language. I can easily go to my Copilot and tell Copilot to convert this particular code into a SQL code for me. And people ask me, why is Microsoft actually creating Microsoft Fabric? For those that know Microsoft Fabric very well in data, every artificial intelligence is powered by data, because when your AI is answering a question or answering a prompting, it's looking at the data and it's giving you a response. And this is the idea of Microsoft Fabric, because we brought everything together in one place. Data science will work in the same platform. Data engineers will work in the same platform. Data analysts will work in the same platform. Everybody will work in one place. Now, you don't need to have experience in all of these different skills. Copilot can help you. We heard about the announcement of Microsoft SQL database in Copilot, in Microsoft Fabric. When I was actually exploring it, I saw some interesting things that actually wowed me. And one of them is, I don't need to actually write a SQL query to query a database. Copilot is inside that database. I can just easily tell Copilot what I want to query, no matter how complex your query is. In fact, one of the most complex joins that I've actually wrote before that took me like almost 2 days to actually write this join. Copilot curate the join, the query, make it very neat. The query was very cool, and it just created in just some seconds. So this means that there's actually a lot of productivity now compared to what we do before and what we are exposed to. So now I can create a dashboard with Copilot. I can write a query with Copilot. I can bring a data into my data warehouse with Copilot. I can model a data, expose this data to some data science model with Copilot. If I mean, I don't really do Python. I don't know Python like that, right? But while I was working with Fabric, with the help of Copilot, I was able to actually write some prompt and it generated a Python script for me and actually do some machine learning testing on that data. So this means that productivity is now easy to achieve. So we don't need to kind of stress ourselves on the way we used to do before. And it also helps organizations to get results faster as well.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks so much for that as well. And let me see if anyone can hear me. Yeah, okay, thank you.
Mm,
Yeah, thank you so much, Wale, and for you for that as well. So,
yeah.
yeah, just like they have mentioned that Microsoft Copilot is making waves across the various industries, and by also enhancing productivity and collaborations, not only within the organization as well, but across the industry, across the app that we use within our organization, and also other parts of the organization as well. So my next question will be,
Yeah. Sorry, just before you go on to the next question, I
yeah,
think it's also important for us to know that as part of the Ignite Book of News,
yeah,
there is so many announcements around the statistics of the use of Gen AI and how it has increased. 55%
mm,
in year 2023, and then the use of Gen AI has now jumped to 75 in
Wow.
yeah, yeah,
2024.
yeah,
And for every $1 that the company has invested in Gen AI, the return on investment is $3.70. So
yeah,
Microsoft has also done in their survey, they've seen that for 3% of people say that productivity use cases has provided the greatest return on investments. Because when I think back to when we started with Microsoft 365 Copilot, for example, most of what we heard from our clients is the use cases. Microsoft heard that there was a lot of need last year around use cases. How do we bring this to life? I mean, you can see that a lot of emphasis have been placed on that. And now anyone that is starting out with Gen AI, there are loads of use cases using like Microsoft 365 as a finance person, as a project manager, as a business decision maker and executive, as a legal practitioner. So lots of use cases are now being brought into the picture. So all you need to do is like starts to give you ideas of how you can use this Microsoft 365 Copilot for sales, Copilot for service, Copilot in Fabric, as well as the Gen AI, Azure OpenAI. So it starts to bring everything together, and you can start to see how this applies to you as an individual working in the organization. And that has now given for 3% increase in productivity.
yeah. Good, good, good. That's great. Thanks for your help for that information. And yes, so yeah, yeah. As part of what Microsoft also acknowledges, and is that part of what you have mentioned, how these the AI features actually increased productivity from 50% in 2023 to 75% in 2024, and that's actually see how how companies and users, are adapting this solution, I mean, this AI, and then, in their daily task as well. So, yeah. So, yeah, so Adewale, so what are the key advancements here in the Copilot that you have seen or probably leverage on in terms of how the benefits to, I know you mentioned for a few of them, but in terms of advancements, in the Copilot, and how does it benefit me as a developer or as a business owner?
Yeah, it actually does. It does a lot. I'm also going to start from the data view again, data
Mm,
point of view again. An example I'm going to make is there was this as a consultant, right? When you actually create a solution or you create a report and you write some few measures or some few DAX in your solutions, it is advisable that you put a descriptions of each of those measures, each of those table, each of those column, so that you can reference this back in future in case you actually want to troubleshoot anything. You yourself, sometimes you forget what you've done. And most of the time for clients as well, they usually forget what this particular measure is for. And for me, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to documentation. I am pretty lazy when it comes to documentation, right? But with the help of Copilot, that's an example I'm going to cite, right? When Microsoft brought Copilot into Power BI and they are improving on it year to year, there's also an announcement that they made that you can now use Copilot to write a description for each of your measures. So when you write a measure in Power BI, immediately you can tell Copilot to say, write a description for this measure and keep it in the model. So once Power BI does that, later I can go back and reference the same report and see that there's actually a description for each of these measures. Even me that wrote the measure, even if though I forget what the measure is all about, a description is already there that will remind me of what the measure is all about. That's one productivity gain for me in Power BI. Another thing that they also did, right? Many people have not actually structured a data pipeline before, right? Especially those that have not worked with Azure Synapse. But when you look at the data pipeline that we have on Microsoft Fabric, I don't need to set up a data pipeline from scratch, which is from basic. I can easily use Copilot to say, okay, draft a data pipeline for me. I want you to, by just typing a prompt, I want you to get a data from SQL Server Manager Studio on Azure. I want you to drop this data in Lakehouse. Look at the steps I'm mentioning. Get the data from SQL Server. Drop this data in the Lakehouse. Put this data that you put in the Lakehouse. Test it on a notebook and write some structure query on that notebook. Supply this data, the same data, to a semantic model on Power BI and create a short report. That is only just one prompt. And this one prompt will perform a magic that will take a developer 6 or 7 days to do. It will go and bring the data from SQL Server. It will bring it. It will drop it on the Lakehouse, like you said. It will carry it from the Lakehouse and put it in a notebook. And from a notebook, it will also create a report. So this is actually a game changer for we developers and then low-code writers, because I know Microsoft is actually getting close to low-code writers so that people don't practically write a lot of code. Before you start writing a code now, maybe you want to develop your own agent yourself. And aside from that, just use the Copilot and make your life easier.
Yeah, good, good. Thanks, Adewale. So I just make me remember what Satya Nadella said, that what Copilot is doing to give GitHub for developers, and also is doing to Copilot is doing also to Excel, for data analytics, and provide a report for you, and also provide in terms of the developing those dashboard and so on and so forth. Yeah, for you, I want to come to you. So what actually, benefits, just like the Adewale have mentioned as well.
Yeah. So I think it's that deep integration that Microsoft is making available easily across not just the systems in their ecosystem, but also other systems that are outside of their ecosystem. So I was reading about the updates and I saw that you can now import data from snowflakes very easily into Dataverse.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, this is, a big deal, especially for those of us that, are not coming from the data side of the house. Now, looking at it more from a business or a user perspective, we can look at different agents that Microsoft is bringing to play now, like the interpreter agents. That one is really big. The interpreter agents allows interpretation of up to 9 languages. So you could be on the call, speaking English, and you have other people, Spanish speakers, people that speak Polish, German, you name it, and they can all hear me speaking English in their own language. And that single Teams meeting can support up to 9 different languages. That is amazing. You can imagine the level of barriers and boundaries that this is bringing down. because a lot of us that are native English speakers may not understand the real challenges that people that have English as their second or third languages may face, because you are listening and you are interpreting and you are thinking at the same time, to give a response. So that is really creating another level of inclusion and diversity
Mm,
within our industry. So that's one that really, really wowed me. And then we also have the agents in SharePoint. Some of us may
mm,
already be familiar with it, that the users can quickly create on their own. So we can see that it's all about increasing productivity and taking productivity to the next level for everyone. How can we make it easy for you to do the things that you need to do very quickly and in a secure manner as well? Like the SharePoint one, you get to know, once you create the agent, it lets you know who has permissions to this, because it automatically inherits the permissions on that document library, and it also brings it to your the surface to say that people that have permissions here, and it inherits all the sensitivity labels that have been put on all of those documents as well.
Okay, all right. Thank you for about both of you, Wally and for you for that. So yeah, it's really great to see what the AI can do for us and to our business, to our daily tasks, and also to us as a developer as well. Um, Another question I want to ask is how can a business, we've seen what the announcement is sorry, the in terms of the capabilities, the return of investments,
Mhm.
and how the developers can adopt it, how the business owners can actually benefit from it as well. But my question now is that how can a business effectively integrate this latest technology, the artificial intelligence AI tools and the technology into to stay competitive, in the competitive market today. So I don't know, therefore you or Adewale would like to go first.
I think I will start from where
Yeah,
Foyin stopped.
yeah,
And she mentioned something about the translator in
yeah,
Microsoft Teams, right? The interpreter.
yeah.
That alone is actually a big game changer for a lot of organizations, because it actually breaks down the language barrier. I cannot speak Chinese and somebody is speaking
Yeah.
Chinese and I can hear English. If I want to do that in real life without AI, that means we need to get somebody, a third party, right? That will be on the call and that will be talking to each of us.
Mm.
So that alone is a game changer for a lot of organizations. Or do you want to talk about the SharePoint? The SharePoint where you have millions of files on your SharePoint folder. You have, let's say you have like hundreds of files on your SharePoint folder, and you are looking for a particular information in all those hundred of files. Before you can get those information, is either you go and consolidate those files somewhere, you do an ETL, you do a cleaning process, you do a thorough report before you can get a simple information. But with that AI, with the Copilot in SharePoint, just put a prompt. Copilots will go to that hundred of files, even if it's Excel or CSV. It will go and check inside each of those files and bring out your information for you. If you want to do that, you may need to employ 1,000 people to break down everybody. Everybody will open file. Everybody will open file one by one. That alone is a lot of productivity for organization. Or do you want to talk about Excel? That most people spend time, quality time on Excel. Almost everybody spend quality time on Excel every day, right? And as we all know from where I'm from, they always say time is money. So if you can save me a lot of times, then you've saved me a lot of money. So practically, what organizations will benefit is productivity. And this productivity will save them a lot of stress, a lot of money as well. And staff will also more productive to have the ability to do more interesting things rather than sitting down and do mundane task.
Yeah.
I completely
Mhm.
agree with you. And I think that's, one of the important things that businesses will need to do is upskill. Like everybody needs to know how to work in this new world of AI that we have found ourselves in. AI is here to stay, you know. And I think that we all kind of have agreed through last year, 2023, we're like, okay,
Yeah.
this is it and this is how it's going to be. So upskilling is very important, and we don't need to wait for our organizations. We need to take it up upon ourselves to do our personal research, our personal study, and what does this AI even mean for me in whatever role that we found ourselves. And rather than seeing it as a threat, you can embrace it like your intern. Just because all of these agents are going to become part of. I just see them as part of our team, but they are not humans. they are they are bots,
They are
but they're all part
co-pilots.
of the
You are the
team.
pilots.
You understand? So they are co-pilots. They're all going to be part of our team. Like if you look at some of the links that I put in the chat, you can see that there's even a project management agent that will just go and automate everything in Planner for you.
Wow.
It will handle all the creation. Those things that take so much time. You are creating the tasks one by one, one by one, one by one. Say, what did you do today? Oh, I created my tasks in Planner. I created for the entire project, assigned it to people. All these are eating your time rather than doing the main work. You can now have this project manager agent. So all of these agents are just going to be part of our team to help us be more effective and spend our time doing things that are more productive, doing the actual work itself rather than all the admin wrapped around it. So I think one of the things that organizations need to do is to upskill their people. So there'll always be need to upskill because there are just so many AI tools out there. And the organizations need to educate, like the organization where we work for, the first thing that they do was to educate us on what is AI 101, responsible AI, the responsible use of AI. So it's very important for organizations to define, what responsible AI means in their organization. What are the things that people should not be doing? What I think they should be doing? How can you use these AI tools securely? And we did a session while some weeks back on textilers talking about using AI in a secure way, not just taking all the sensitive data and just pasting it in it just to get your answer. We have to be very, very careful on the way that we use it. So I think the onus is on the organization of skill, but also on us, because again, it's our career journey. So we have to take responsibility for ourselves to say, okay, how do I get up to speed on all of these things that are just, going and going and going? And thank God for communities. Some of us may not have had time to go through the Ignite book of news, but we're here today just hearing a few of the highlights. So all of the community events will always help us to leverage on each other to continue to grow very quickly. Thank you. Ahmed, back to you.
Thank you so much for your wonderful ads. For you, to always said, let me consult my assistant. You know what that means, right? So the AI is not people are thinking are already taking our job and all that. You know, uh, if you don't have the skills or probably so it's not actually taking our job, right? So that's what we call it. That's we call it assistant. Sometimes I used to call it that like assistant intelligence. I would say that artificial intelligence. I call it assistant intelligence. It's just to assist us. Like when you say that, when you use it to perform some tasks, you don't have to copy and paste. It's just for you to assist you. When you, for example, if you go out of idea or something like that, just consult with it, and it will give you some kind of ideas, and from there you can trigger your what we you can do with what actually things you can do with it as well. It has helps us as a developer as well across, in terms of accelerating our development time and also in accelerating our thinking as well. In terms of, for example, if I write some script, for example, and I need to see where the error is, but I'm not seeing it, all I could do is just to go and help me to review it, and it's going to analyze for me as well to put some comments rather than wasting my time, to be commenting on the each of the line of code. I can ask it to, comment for me as well. So comment on the each line of code. Um, all right, so, okay, I think we have one of our speaker here as well. On your board, okay. Just give me a second. There,
Yeah,
I
I
need
think
to check.
I can finally unmute,
Oh,
and
okay. All right.
I'm so happy to be here. Apologies for
So
the delay.
no, no problem at all. So thanks for making it for making it here actually, and then and thanks for joining. And then so we actually be discussing around the announcements and the AI, the co-pilot, what it's doing for us as developers, and to the business industries, how organizations are actually adopting it. And Fuin and Adewale has been actually analyzing it for us and an expert in this field as well. And maybe your thought as well around the announcement, what excites you, and then how can organization adapt this technology in their daily business activities.
Okay, thank you. Can I speak?
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, well, I think the first I will speak to is Satya Nadella's illustration, during the keynote. Fortunately for me, I was there. I was sitting in the one right at the front. It was a very electrifying experience for me. And hopefully I get to
But
see
before you
MVPs
go
at
on,
the...
I would like you to introduce yourself.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Hi, everyone. I'm Olaniwaju Onyiboke. I'm a Microsoft MVP for Business Application Power Automate specifically. Here in the US, and I work as Operations Automation and AI Lead for a consulting company in Bellevue, Redmond. But I do a lot of community stuff, and I come from Nigeria, in case you're wondering where's my roots in Africa. Okay, and I'm super happy to be here among my mentors and, joining them on this table to also share briefly on this topic. So, all right. So speaking to my experience at Ignite, especially picking up from Satya Nadella's illustration around Copilot agent, which was the primary key announcement. Every other product really literally speaks to Copilot in them and a few other things. Is this illustration saying Copilot is the UI for AI? I'm not sure if something has been said on that topic so that I can move on.
Not
Has
yet.
anything? Okay, okay. Oh, thank you. So, and as he was saying that repeatedly, I also had the opportunity to speak to Jack Robotham. In fact, we spent about 3 days always being together, moving around. So I use questions to torture him to understand his mind. Where are they coming from? What are they actually driving at? And it was very clear. I finally got what they were talking about. Microsoft vision for M365 productivity apps going forward, and even the way we work in workplace, is Copilot. And that's the primary goal. What does that mean? It means, one, the way we work before is going to shift. Every tool you use today, you should start from Copilot. That's Microsoft vision for that. So if you're in OneDrive, for example, if you are in Microsoft Word, if you have Microsoft Copilot, in any of those two, you will always see the Copilot at the top. Instead of starting from that blank, you are not starting from blank technically, you are starting from Copilot. So you have to click on Copilot. Whatever you want to do is going to help you with the first draft. It's going to help you get work done. This is different from the way we work in the past. If you are in Excel, every cell in Excel now, if you have that license, once you click on the cell, you already see the Copilot icon there, meaning this cell cannot be empty. I can help you start something from there. If you're in PowerPoint at the top as well, beyond the normal Copilot icon on the ribbon, you're going to see that icon asking you to describe what you want to do and can help you get things started. So that's just Copilot infused into the way we work. That way is going to change our approach.
Just to give a
Several years
practical,
ago, yeah.
sorry, Ola, just to give a practical example to what you're saying. So I'm sure a couple of us have had that experience. I opened Outlook, in my iPhone. I think there was an update run, and then as I opened the Outlook, what I just saw was the Copilot screen. Maybe because I'm licensed for the M365 Copilot. So that was all I saw. I didn't see inbox, nothing, just the window, put in your prompt. What do you want to do? So that's a practical example of what you're talking about, where it's not going to be, oh, click here, just simple window, put in what you want, and then it gives you back the answers.
Thank you. Thank you for that example. I also have that license, so I can see it right on my phone too. It's not even appearing in the tab. It just makes a lot of things. It simplifies many things. So they want you to start from Copilot, but that's just one. But what is even more technical or more practical about it is in Copilot Studio, you are building agents. So, it has evolved from Power Virtual Agent to Microsoft Copilot and now agents, it continues to move. Everything we build in Copilot Studio are now agents. And they've done it in such a way that those agents are accessible directly in Copilot. Okay. So every agent you build in Copilot Studio is now accessible within Copilot, meaning Copilot is where you go to. The same Copilot you have now for enterprise, all you just have to do is to tag the agent you want to use for that conversation. So rather than building 10 agents in your organization, one for employee handbook, one for FAQ on IT resolution, one for several other Power Virtual agents, if you can call it that way, that you have. Instead of you interacting with them one by one separately in the past, all you just have to do today is the simple Copilot interface. Anytime you need them, you just tag them and they answer that question and you move on to other things. So it becomes the aggregate. Copilot is now the UI for AI. So because several AI is going to be built, agents are going to do several things. But you don't have to be using those agents one by one. If there are 100 agents in your company today, will you be interfacing with them one by one with that 100 anytime you need them? That's even creating a lot of solutions in silo. This Copilot interface now is going to be the aggregate. It's that center you go to and you can talk to several other agents across the organization. And that's what they meant by Copilot is the UI for AI, because that is where you interface with AI.
Yeah, and that's just fantastic. It's kind of what we were discussing previously, and I was saying that agents will be like our team members. They're just that is somebody in your team, that is doing that. So your example now saying you're going to mention them. So it's the same way I will mention you, Ola, and ask you a
Yes.
question. It's the same way I'll just
Yes.
mention the agents and then ask the agent to do something on my behalf. So it's like we just have robots now.
Yeah,
Little robots in the team.
like you are the pilot, and then you just have somebody driving beside you. And what we need to kind of focus now, and then what I usually tell people is now prompt engineering. So you need to understand how to give an appropriate prompt, because many people will say, I try to use Copilot, but it's giving me something that doesn't make sense. Did you give it the right prompt? That's what I usually tell people. Do you give it the right prompt? And that's what we need to kind of embark on now, because AI is going to take over almost everything we do and almost all the tools that we work with. So what we need to do is, how do I prompt correctly? And I think that's what should be the next game changer.
Yeah, good. Thanks for thanks you for bringing up this and also for talking about this thing deep dive. It's really worth appreciating, and I want to thank you all for this. I just want to see if there's any question in the chat. Let me quickly go on through that. Okay, I don't see any question. Anyone feel free to drop your question if you have anyone. All right, okay.
Does
Yeah.
anyone today uses Copilot one form or the other enterprise? I think it's also worth asking of the attendant participant. Have you used Copilot within the organization, your organization today?
Okay, that's what so for the attendance
Nobody,
and
no reaction yet.
okay. See, somebody said, yeah, I use it for M365.
Good. And
Yeah.
that's actually the same for Power
Okay.
Automate. Awesome.
Okay. Somebody mentioned for Power Automate. Use it for Power Automate.
Speaking of Power Automate,
Yeah.
there's also this generative action now that was also announced during Ignite, which is also a combination of what's happening within Copilot Studio and Power Automate. So this time around, it's going to automatically determine what set of actions to carry out. For example, in Power Automate, you can build a flow that anytime you receive an email, it goes through the content of the email. It probably analyze and look for something, and then based on that, takes some set of actions. But each of those things I've described, we have to use action card for them in Power Automate. Check this in the email. Probably filter, use a condition to filter if the value is equals to this. with generative action, all those 5 activities or actions is going to be one single action because it's AI that will run through everything. Once the email lands in, just pick the email. It's going to analyze. All you just have to do is to describe in the generative action what should it do. Check for so in the email and send email to this person or that. It's going to pick up the email, analyze, look for the content it needs, do everything and generate and even carry out some actions. Just one action doing the work of several action cards in the past. Is not publicly available. I'm looking forward to see it in any preview channel and try it out. But I saw the demo because I attended the session and it was really, really amazing.
And just to add to what you said, Ola, I also look at some demos and also try out the M365 agent that they made. So from your Microsoft Office 365 or Microsoft 365, there is now Microsoft 365 agent, just like what you said. So they are making the flow available to everybody, not just the particular people using Power Automate. So everybody, once you go to your office.com and then you are on your M365, the next thing you see below is action. So when you click on the action, you can literally type and say, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. I want you to keep track of what I'm doing today. For example, I want you to maybe send an email and document all the meetings I've had today. And it's creating those actions like you're actually writing a flow, but it's not actually Power Automate, but it's just putting a box of, okay, so this is the action. Type something there. This is the trigger. Type something there. This is the result. So it's something related to that. And I think making that available for everybody to start writing an action and trigger, I think is something also amazing.
And just to add to while we're in the Power Automate world, there's also the Copilot expression assistance. So there's anyone that has written Power Automate, you know that expression can be a big headache.
Exactly.
Very big one.
You can say that.
When you just miss the comma in the expression.
You can say that.
Or
This
you
one,
put the
what I
comma
do.
before the brackets instead of after. You can be there for hours trying to figure out what is wrong with this expression.
Yeah, that's actually is something, I write expression almost every day. It's something that I would like to actually release my hands on with Copilot, and then maybe can do a couple of things for me around that. I'll be very, very happy that. So I think I haven't, leverage on this feature, and just like you mentioned, I'm going to go there and try, start, leverage on this part. So, okay. Somebody has a question. Is the expression assistant in GA yet? Probably.
It's not generally available, I
No,
guess.
No,
but it's
no,
public
I don't
preview.
think so.
It's still
Okay.
in public preview.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so it's public preview, but not free.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I think people can't wait to. You see people that are writing expression now.
It's easier. When you have Copilot and all the generative AI, coding will actually be easier. I remember one DAX I wrote, and the issue we have on that DAX is performance. My report has performance issue. I just copy this DAX and give it to Copilot and say, tell me what I should improve on this task. I can actually make performance of my data better. And it's analyzed every single line. Because, okay, don't use this. Replace this with this. If you use this instead, your performance, it was really nice, honestly.
Yeah. Good.
I really like the summarize the Power FX for me, the one that Power Apps has. It's a big headache, especially if you're inheriting an application that you did not build. You're like, what is this developer trying to do here?
But that thing saved me on my projects. I built a project for onboarding employee here, and to be honest, I built it from scratch. But I was so tired. Sometimes I would just write some expression. If it's not working, I'll just use it. Okay, say this is what I'm intending to do. But it's wrong here. I will just copy. Shebi, you know what I want to do, but and you've correctly described it. I will give it to ChatGPT. Okay, this is what this is the feedback from what I'm trying to do. Oh, okay. I'm not get. It's really helped me. If I could not if that copilot is not there to tell me what I'm doing, but what is wrong, obviously it will take me longer time to troubleshoot those things. So truly
Yeah.
productivity hack.
Yeah.
That's
Good.
it.
I
So
think.
that's the kind of positive, like positive view that we all, as MVPs, always want to promote about this tool. So it's not about, oh, AI is replacing me. No, it's far from it. It's about it's making you more productive and helping you to spend your time, in the more effective things rather than spending hours trying to troubleshoot the Power FX, summary. So it's really, really great.
Yeah, good. That's wonderful. Thanks so much. And then also, it's there are a couple of things that we'll have discussed because we don't have much time. If we continue to talk about these, we've seen feedback from people in the chat talking about how they have actually, the couple have saved them a lot of time in writing Excel formula, Power Query codes, company search, and all of that. We've seen people also talk about saving them. So somebody mentioned that it has been saving me from pulling my hair my hair out. Abolola. All right. So yeah, it's been a great things this year Microsoft have done in Microsoft Ignite. Just to recap, the Microsoft Copilot Actions, what Microsoft introduced Copilot Action in terms of feature that are actually designed to automate your repetitive task within the Microsoft applications, or are we talking about the AI agents that focus majorly on the performing tasks autonomously. These agents are designed to handle complex planning and and actions as well. Or we talk about the AI Azure AI Foundry. I don't know if you heard about the Azure AI Foundry as well, bringing together the Copilot Studio and the Azure AI as well, which was announced as well as part of the Unify platform, aim at streamlining the creation and deployment of AI solution in any environment as well. Or we talk about the data center infrastructure chip as well, or we talk about the enhancements to Copilot, Microsoft 365 Copilot, or in improving productivity in the SharePoint, our data fabrics, and also I mean, Copilot in data factory. If we have to go deep into that as well, it can take days to talk about that.
Yeah,
Annually
a
talk about
lot
that.
of
So
things.
these are things you can leverage on. We've shared on the link there. You can be able to leverage on those links that we've mentioned, and start skilling, challenge, upskilling, and how organization can actually also adapt, this technology, and also we've seen how the return of investment, have improved from last year. Just was as announced as well, from 55% into to 73% this year. So it's massive to see how people, businesses utilizing this feature, to improve their productivity as well. And also, one thing I want to mention is around what was also announced, that the 0 day quest, you know, is something
Mhm.
that I would like you guys to watch. To leverage on as well, and how it's like um, security teams around the clock to help to protect the every person organization. So Microsoft is actually working around the secure data. I mean AI cloud security. And it's like I won't say a hackathon, but people around to participate in that, like come up with a couple of security things that you believe that can actually help in improving this, compliance and security around. So it's about 0 day quest anyway. So which I have shared a link. You might want to go through to that as well, and be part of it and register and participate in it as well. I want to say thank you so much. Thank you Foyin. Thank you Adewale. Thank you Oyiboke. Sometimes I always say Oyiboke. Oyiboke. One of the friends that comes to mind is Oyiboke instead of. Probably I will have to consider changing your name as well. All right. Thanks so much for your time. And this is wonderful. And we're going to have this section. This section is recorded, and this is going to be published into our YouTube channel. We're going to share that, and so um, I think I also I'll drop some link here for our YouTube channel, so that way you can see once it's available, and you can also share with your colleague as well. I want to say thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time. Thank you once again. I'll see you next time.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. TGIF.